Hello, everyone. I know you've all been waiting for me, but I'm so exhausted, so I'm not going to take more than 30 minutes of your time. Ada was just about to write me, sir. Hmm. I got two very um, touching emails. I actually got three, and one had to do with a redeemed pastor who collected some people's land, but they're not available for tonight, so I can't bring them. However, can you guys hear me? The mic is on. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? If you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen, double click the screen. So I'm on only for 30 minutes. In fact, 20 minutes. I'm just going to take some calls and then we call it a night because I'm exhausted. Very, very exhausted. I'll be human being too. I'll be person picking. Okay. So if you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen, double click it, double click it, double click it, double click the screen. Hey, I'm looking for my number one gifter on TikTok. Who's my number one gifter? Follow my number one gifter. They're right there. Follow my number one gifter. All right. So I said I have two very touching stories, and one of them is a young lady who wrote to me and said her brother married a former street girl. By street girl, I didn't want to use the word because Instagram, what do they call it? Censorship and all that. I didn't want to look for their trouble. So I just used former street Olosho. He said his brother's wife used to stand on the road and look for customers, and his brother married her. Now, there were two stories, like I said. One of a guy who married a street Olosho who repented, and another guy who married. The other story was a from somebody in Ibadan, a family story I heard. And the second one was a guy who married a church girl, church boy marrying a church girl who kept getting STIs. Apparently, the church girl was still with her boyfriend, or she was still doing runs or whatever it is she was doing, because she kept infecting him with STIs. So my conversation is, would you rather marry a former Olosho who has repented? I know it's hard. And I know it's hard for them to repent. Or a church girl who you don't know is an Olosho, but she's using church to cover up. Who would you rather marry? I just want to ask the guys, and who would you rather encourage your girl to marry? Or your brother to marry? Just a quick question. We're not going to waste much time. Like I said, I don't even have up to 30 minutes because I'm exhausted. I want to ask you, when the girl sent me this, the other story about the guy marrying the church girl is a story I know. Someone in Ibadan I know very well. Someone said both can still change. The Olosho girl changed before you met her. The current girl is still doing that wrongs, giving you STI inside marriage. Who would you rather marry? If you had no other choice. You see, and I'm going to tell you this before I move on. Everybody has a past. Some of you men are worse than Oloshos. Some of you men are worse than Oloshos. Some of you men have been with above 100 women. Many of you women who married normal men, you don't know, say the man who you marry was past Olosho. And I understand that you don't want what you are served right back at you. Many of you are full-blown Oloshos. But you don't want. Now, you are just like the women. Women whose fathers don't own cars want to marry men that have cars. If car easy, why your papa not get? Women whose fathers do not own village houses want to marry men who have mansions in Lekki. If mansion in Lekki easy, why your papa not get? I understand that. The same thing with men. We don't waka the whole town. When it is time to marry, they want to marry V, where nobody don't tear before, tear rubber. Let us talk about this. Men want to marry, men we don't waka the whole nation, want marry tear rubber. Think about it. You feel. I hope you are wearing top and bottom now, not like that last time.
Oh, I'm good. I have corona.
We're gonna find a time next week to do our hookup again. Your husbands have stopped disturbing me, so I know that the market has stopped selling.
Daddy Freeze, no wait. Daddy Freeze, with all due respect, please. You know I'm your child. Take me as your daughter. Daddy Freeze, please, before we start the hookup, can you at least state the specifications or the qualifications or the requirements of each candidate coming up? So if I come, you should ask me what I'm looking for, what I want. Because the caliber of people, I'm sorry, that are coming to your DM for me, it's not adding up. Just as how you're saying now, Olosho, now they want guys that have cars. Well, I'm not saying I'm Olosho, I'm not an Olosho, but I'm a hardworking young lady, and I want someone to be up to par. I'm not asking for too much.
The kind of people, the way they come through. But Samaria got some good ones. So Samaria, I think, was lucky. She got some good guys, some clean guys. I think one worked in oil and gas. The one I really want to find husband for is Cheesy.
Who's that?
You get one girl where they come this my life. Her name na Cheesy. I define husband for him. Cheesy, you day here today? No. If by this year Cheesy never get husband, I don't feel happy. Let me find Cheesy whether she's around. Make I look for her trouble. Cheesy. So tell me, what are your thoughts
on? I'm sorry, I just joined the line.
Okay. A lady wrote me a letter, and in summary, because like I said, I'm not going to stay long. The lady wrote a letter, and in summary, her brother married a street Olosho, and she claims they're happy in marriage. What are your thoughts?
Um, everyone has a past. No one is a saint.
That's the cheesy that I want to look for husband for. That's the cheesy here.
Dear, hi, Audrey babe.
Hi,
Hi.
honey.
Put on
Hi.
your lights,
Dear.
John. You were the fine
Dear,
husband
babe.
for. I must find
I don't
husband
want
for you.
to.
This.
Sorry, I'm taking.
No. We are sacking the person
I'm
that took
taking.
you.
No way. Dear,
We
no
want to
way,
see the
I'm
face of the
taking.
person that took you. Oh yeah, sure.
No, his face is a faceless person.
No
No go cast am o. No go cast am o.
It's not on
I know this kind
Instagram.
of thing.
It's not on Instagram.
Three
It
different
doesn't do
guys they
social
watch this
media.
Instagram live, believing saying at them.
No, it's not on Instagram. It's not even on Instagram. It doesn't do social media. Like,
Man.
so that's why I get privileged to the flex of social media. You don't understand. If you go my page, you can see anything. No traces, nothing. It's off it. Like,
And that blessing say cheesy go explain tire. So yeah. The question
it's not here.
Okay. The question is, my brother, not me, but the lady who wrote, said her brother married a street Olosho and they're happy. And I didn't read the whole letter, but that just caught me. And I'm like, can you really be happy with someone who was selling her body? And then I thought about it. I'm like, me as a guy, probably the only difference between me and that Olosho is maybe she had double my body count. But I'm not a saint. And I feel entitled to believe that what I did was okay when I was young. I could chase whoever I wanted to. You understand? I worked in the media, and the media is a huge knack fest. You understand? Most of the people I worked with were sleeping with other people in the office or sleeping with other people outside. Our guys that were married all had girlfriends, or many of them had girlfriends, even the ones that were forming religious. You know? So I think men live in an entitled world. Yes, they say it's a man's world, but is it really a man's world? Or it's an entitled world where men feel they can access or own anything they like? And if a woman dares to do half as much as they did, the woman becomes a devil. What is your take on this?
Okay, who wants to go? Does she want to go first, or
No, you.
Okay. It's something we've been experiencing in our generation, of course. That I will speak for. Like I said, no one is a saint. Everyone has a past, and the men that actually look down on women that have multiple body counts or are considered Olosho and say they're not worthy of getting married, that's a blatant lie. Because guess what? Majority of these Oloshos or these bad girls, they get married quicker before good girls do. So what's going on? There's a disconnect there. That's one. Two, the men can go, like what Daddy Free said, men will go ahead and knock plethora of girls, many girls, and it boosts their resume, their ego. It's okay for them. But if we do the same thing, of course, we're labeled as Olosho or as a girl that just frequents every guy's bed. But that's not what it is. What about ones that actually have good intentions, but they're just meeting F boys, for me not to say the word. So they say it's a man's world. That's what we're living in. And that's why a lot of us that are in our 30s now, majority of us are single. If you go on Hinge or if you do like a poll to see the demographics for the amount of women that are single on Hinge, on dating apps, on Instagram, on Facebook, it's ladies from 30s ranging to 45 that are single. It's sad, but that's what is going on right now. Daddy Freeze. We're in a tight fix, especially now when we're cultured. There are some of us like myself, I only can date Niger men, right? So what does that leave me to? Or what does that leave us to?
Someone says you single, K. Are you really single?
Oh yeah, I am single. I'm single, and it should not be like a bad thing or a curse or negative. No, I'm single. I'm okay. I'm taking my time. I'm building myself. I'm building my career. I'm working on myself as a woman. So whoever I end up dating or settling with, we know he's not dating a liability. He's dating a woman that has her own stuff gathered together. So that's the point I'm in my life. So.
And I'm with you 100%. I'm with you 100%. And I agree. I said I'm with you 100%. And I agree with you on that. And let's talk about this body count thing. Does a man's body count mean anything to you?
It doesn't mean anything to me personally, but it shouldn't be outrageous. Like I've heard someone said he was like, 35, and he said he's been with over 400 women. I'm like, how? 400 women. So if I do the math, that doesn't sit well with me, but he was being honest. And again, we're adults. There's certain age you shouldn't be asking questions. Another adult for their body counts. Like, what is that? It's like a man coming to me and asking me, oh, what's your body count? I'm sorry, what? Did I tell you I was a virgin? I'm sorry, did I tell you I was a B? That's disrespectful and rude. So there are certain ages and certain stage in life that certain questions should not even come out of a man's mouth. My past is my past. Not saying that.
Let me ask you a question. Do you share your past with your man? Do you tell him stories?
You know, I used to do this, but I heard that it's a no. Stop doing that. Why? I don't anymore. Don't ask me. I'm not gonna ask you about your past. Don't ask me about my own past. It's a past for a reason. Because a lot of men will say, oh, they're not gonna hold it against you, but later on it comes out of their mouth in a heated conversation. They're bringing it up, hitting you below where it hurts, saying, oh, that's why Oba Tunde soon. That's why Oba Sola soon. No, keep your past to yourself. As long as it's not like vital information. It's not, oh, my past, oh, I slept with that person, I slept with that. No. What is that? So that's what I think. Don't ask me about my body count. That's rude.
Just hold on. Let me bring one more person. And then, like I said, we're going to call it a day because I really don't want to stay too long because I'm exhausted. I'm bringing some other person right now.
Okay.
Ada, blessing, you're still in the office. What are you doing in the office at this time?
No, I'm home. I was working out.
Okay, girl.
Ada, you learn how to drive in the middle of the night. You walk out in the middle of the night. When are you going to stop this witchcraft?
I think I am a night person. I've come to terms with that.
Of course, that's when you attend your meetings normally. So
yeah,
I'm listening to you. Tell me.
Which of the question?
Is it okay for a man to marry a former street Olosho?
Yes, whatever he finds peace, whatever. The truth is, yeah, I mean, most Nigerian women, we lie a lot. We like to lie. If every Nigerian woman would open up and tell people or tell the persons they're with the truth, last, that's what I understand.
I'm sorry.
I said most.
Wait, tell the truth about what exactly?
About how many persons they've gone down with.
I'm sorry. Why is that information his business?
No, I'm going somewhere. I'm not saying people should. Yeah, people should. But I'm just saying that if people get to open up to men about how many people they've been with, some men will realize that even the church girl they are ending with, or once upon a time have been. Gone are the days where people keep this V of the thing sacred, yeah? These days, people just see it as something casual. You meet someone today, you guys have a tiny connect, and the next thing, things are going down. They don't even count it as a big deal anymore. So, most women have their numbers, how do you even call it, their mileage. Their mileage has increased, yeah? But just because they were not caught standing on the street, they also get involved in conversation like this and point fingers. All I'm trying to say is no one is holy. Yeah, an average Nigerian woman who is 20, 25 has been with over 15 people. And what do you want to call that? And there are some street people that only ended up with 10 people and they got the particular amount of money they were looking for and they stopped. So, wherever you find
if you
peace.
be on the street and you do 20 people, you probably do 20 people a night.
Well, I've never been there, so I don't know.
All right, I want to bring a guy into this conversation. I don't want to stay long, but I've sent Femi Aderogba a request. Somebody saying 15, wow. Why do women like to lie? Like 15 is wow. The average girl, by the time she's 25, 26, she don't do like 20, 30 guys. Make I know they lie. What is 15 is too much. 15 is what you did last year. They mentioned the year before and the year before. We are looking at 50.
And some people, it's not a deliberate act. Some of them, just like we just said, they'll be meeting F-boys. You meet Tunde, first 2 months. Tunde is a piece of trash. What do? You move over to Femi. If Femi is not it, you move to Adeshola. You move to Shegun. You move...
But you to take break. But you understand now, we have to keep going. It's life. Like, do you want me to cry and be mellowing and hurt? No, I have to move on.
All right, we've got somebody here. First of all, bros, why is your camera so... This Android, which day you go buy iPhone, brother? Which day
Nice
you
one,
buy
nice
iPhone?
one, nice one.
Oh, yeah, maybe
No, I think my phone fell, actually. That's what happened.
How
So,
come these girls
my
using
son.
their own phone no fall?
Well, yeah, my son actually made my phone fall. So,
Okay, let's hear your opinion.
yeah. So what I wanted to say really was, in fact, I was trying to dodge this topic. I believe you're talking about body count, right?
Mhm.
Or something like that. Yeah. So, for me, I just want to give you a brief preamble on something that before I got married, I got to a point where, as a single guy, I stayed away from ladies, you understand, to discover myself. And after a while, for probably like a year, I realized that I was always looking for one very fine girl that had everything, like body and all that, no body count and all that. And I realized I would never find that.
The finer the
process,
girl,
I've
the
met
higher the
different-
body count.
That's bullshit.
You know now. The finer the girl, the higher the body count. Anyway, let me hear you.
Not in all cases.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You will live long. Daddy freeze you too, you will live long.
See how he's looking at you.
So basically, what happened was I met someone before I got married, and I realized the person was actually into, she had a high body count, and I found myself falling in love with this person, and I never knew that such a thing could happen. And at that point in time, I now realized that, I was mature enough to actually handle whatever information she gives to me. And that was one of the building blocks of when I chose to get married. Like, we decided to say these things to each other. This has happened. This was my past. This was my past. So nothing surprises us any longer. Even if somebody comes 10 years down the line, such things will just make us laugh when we hear, I've been with this person or I've been with that person. So really, I just feel it's something that people should say. Yeah. Now, it's not everyone that has the temperament to handle that information, but those who can handle it, trust me, it means they're mature enough to actually go into a long-term relationship.
Now, the sad thing is you can't necessarily tell who will be able to handle such information. Take for instance.
Thank you.
So
My
somebody
ex
says
that
you married her. Is that the girl you married?
What's it consigned the person?
No.
Why?
My wife is...
Of course, you want to protect your wife. But let me ask you, why didn't you marry this girl that had a high body count?
So it was my fault. Okay, so she had something else. She had another issue. It was actually anger. She had anger issues. So that was really the reason. And when she was angry, she couldn't control herself. And I realized I was going to have difficulty managing that with bringing her into my family, and even I myself couldn't handle it. So that was why. Not because
problem. You have married her.
100%. 100%.
Okay.
Because I feel like when you get to that point, sorry,
I
feel like when you get to that point.
Sorry, I also hear fine girls have anger issue as well. Is that true?
Yes, because they get away with a lot of things.
That's a myth.
That's a myth, right?
Yeah.
Many of them have anger issues and many other defects.
Both are living with many of them.
Yes, now. The worst one, an ugly girl with get anger issue. That one I don't call understand. It be like frog where they born without laying eggs. At least you go one chop egg now. Which one be frog we no get egg? This your house, fine, no you. Now house you there, be where you there.
Yeah, his house.
That's your house.
Daddy Freeze, one live, please.
Eh?
One live video.
Nobody's going to come and rob you. Calm down. To say you did Lagos.
It's not even about that. Oh God.
Your house is very nice. Where do you stay? New York or ATL?
No, Atlanta.
Okay. Anyway, guys, that's what I just brought us here for today. I said I wasn't going to waste anybody's time, so let me be going. We're going to talk more about this body count, and it's going to it's going to dominate the space next week. I want us to be honest with each other and share the truth. So I wouldn't, for instance, want to know about the 50 men that Ada has been with. Because her body count, Ada is not my business. I'm telling you, your body count is not my business.
Boss, just one.
That's what they all see. I've been with just one. Ojutu will tell you it's two.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
2.5.
Anything a woman tells you, multiply it by 10 and square the result. Then you got a true body count. So if I say it's 4, multiply it by 10, that's 40. Square it, 160. That's her real body count. Just try it.
Boss, bring a yelala, bring anything.
You get mind, though. If you see a yelala, if you swear on top of a yelala.
Of course.
You know, see person when they give ministerial role to the way they work out, they call Jesus. They do Robuto, Rabata, Riskirivis, Karaba. Hey. Inside this our election, where me and you know, say. And that was the election. One pastor that does what God cannot do does not exist. Say angels were watching the election. You know, go better for religion for this life. But anyway, that's as far as we can go. Thank you all so much. Oju, you're looking fine. Next week, we're going to go in hard, and I'm finding you a husband. Beautiful. Ada too, I must find husband for Ada. Cheesy say she don't get husband. Yes. I don't agree. I go find husband for her.
I have Ezekiel ministry.
Ezekiel, okay. It was today. It was Ezekiel's birthday today. Or it is Ezekiel's birthday. Yeah. Happy birthday, Ezekiel. God bless you. I'm going to come on tomorrow, God willing. Oju, I'm going to call you during the day. Let's catch up. Ada, I'm going to call you too. Let's catch up. Brother, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Everybody watching on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Make it no vex. I don't tire today. We will see very soon. Ada, go back to your workout. Oh yeah, go and work out.
Definitely. Again, tell me fat. I'm trying to burn it. Bye.